First tonight, a West 2 News exclusive. The mother of a man hurt in a stabbing in Orange County is speaking out. This happened on Lee Road and left counselor Rebecca White dead. I'm Stuart Moore.
And I'm Summer Knowles. Her former client, Michael Smith, was later found dead. Deputies believe he was the person responsible.
West 2's Haley Grumble-Home is live with an update on how the man who was also attacked is doing. Haley.
So we heard from that man's mom tonight. She said her son was just released from the hospital today. He had to have surgery on his hand. He has some nerve damage. She said that her son had been a patient of Rebecca White's for nearly 2 years and that he is devastated she did not survive this attack. Now, we are not fully identifying the woman we spoke with because she wants to keep her son's identity private. Christy was just getting ready for bed Monday night when the messages started pouring in.
I looked down the phone with tons of texts from my son's friend and pastor at a hospital.
She said her son had been going to group therapy with Rebecca White, a licensed counselor, on Monday nights at this office building on Lee Road.
I found out when I arrived to the hospital that my son was in critical care and had been stabbed 10 times by this guy.
Deputies say 39-year-old Michael Smith, a former patient of White's, was the person responsible. It left Christy's son in the hospital and White dead. Christy said as soon as she found out what happened, she knew how her son must have gotten hurt.
I knew he had to have been trying to save her or protect her because that's the kind of person he is.
She said her son was talking to White after counseling had ended and others had already left.
All of a sudden, this guy barges in, being irate with Rebecca, insisting he wanted to talk to her now, and he wanted to kill himself, and she told him he needed to leave.
She said the man tried to get her son to leave, and when her son told Rebecca they needed to call 911, the man told him to drop his phone.
Of course he didn't, and the guy pulled a huge knife and attacked her.
She said her son tried to jump on the guy.
The guy got onto my son and started stabbing him. And then Rebecca and him tried to shove that guy out the door, but they just were so weak from being stabbed, and the guy got in and shoved my son down a flight of stairs. She
said at that point her son decided to run outside bleeding, trying to find help. Christy said she waited until Tuesday to tell her son White didn't survive.
He is just devastated, and even now when I hung up with him, it's haunting him. He said he's got just thinking about that stairwell and thinking he wishes, he could have done more and he should have gone back up those stairs.
But she said in his condition that night,
but he could barely move and he was bleeding out, and I told him if he had gone up those stairs and as weak as he was, he would have been dead. Now, Christy said that White was a wonderful person who really made a difference in her son's life. She said her son's going to have a lot of healing to do both physically and emotionally after what happened here, and they have started a GoFundMe to help him. Covering Orange County Live, Haley Grumble-Home, West 2 News.